And on that ass-kicking note, we welcome you inside overtime here on Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. He's Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
Yo, mama.
I'm former wrestling announcer turned weight loss champion Chuck Carroll. This here is Fourth and Pain. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain. Like us on Facebook and whatever else you do with your day. Follow us, fourthandpain.com, high noon, new shows each and every weekday, low calorie, high energy. Have lunch with us. Guarantee you won't be disappointed.
I guarantee you will be left fulfilled and satisfied.
Absolutely, and we're cheaper than fast food. So here we go, man. Welcome to the overtime segment of Fourth and Pain.
Our wild card segment of the week.
That's a wild card overtime. We're just cramming it all.
Hey, we got all sorts of titles and names.
It's a heck of a go-home show we're putting together here.
We're like The Rock. We got all these different things we just throw out and call them sayings and stuff, so on.
Well, that's clever. That's what us radio folks do.
I know.
Here's what we're going to do. Let's set the plate here a little bit. We are going to talk about the WWE on the second half of the segment, some names that we would like to see brought back into the WWE fray. But let's start out, as you and I have been discussing this entire season, the debacle that is the New York Jets quarterback situation. Mark Sanchez, he gets benched. Tim Tebow, he's not starting. No, they're going with the third stringer, Greg McElroy. Saw this one coming from a mile away, not necessarily McElroy starting, but this whole quarterback implosion. And alas, here we are with 2 games left to be played. What's your take there, Stretch?
Well, so the whole year, we've been talking about this off and on, every so often. And the whole year I've been saying put Tebow in, give Tebow a chance. And the whole year you've been saying, no, Sanchez, Sanchez, Sanchez. So let's say you're the coach, you're Rex Ryan, you're both big weight loss champions. This Sunday, who do you start? Do you start Greg McElroy, the former national championship winning quarterback at Alabama? Do you start Tim Tebow, who did the same thing at Florida, and he's Tim Tebow? Or do you start Mark Sanchez, the top 5 draft pick who you traded up to get?
Here's the thing. You know what you have in Mark Sanchez at this point. You have nothing to lose. You've been eliminated from the playoffs. You haven't exactly given Tim Tebow a fair shake. You haven't given him an opportunity to start. Maybe he's a little bit dinged up. But you kind of know what you have in Tim Tebow because of what he was able to do last season with the Denver Broncos. What you don't know is what Greg McElroy can do. And therefore, I am on board with Rex Ryan's decision to start him on Sunday.
I can see that point of view. I mean, he came in, he brought them back to beat Arizona when Sanchez was benched. But I would go with Tebow. Look at what Tebow did in Denver. He took a team that was 1-5, got a 7-4 record, won a playoff game against the number 1 defense in the league against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give the man a chance. Give him an opportunity.
But here's the thing. Tim Tebow is clearly not in the New York Jets' future. Okay, you would be putting him in.
He should be. Why is he not? Let's change that. It's not anti-Sanchez. I'm just pro-Tebow. Let's give Tebow a chance.
It was a horrible decision to bring him in the first place. A horrible decision. They knew he was never going to be their number 1 guy. They bring him in as a gimmick, as a sideshow, as a spectacle to help put some butts in the seats. And what has happened? You have a fan base that has turned on itself. You have lost your biggest fan in Fireman Ed. He's gone.
He is gone.
He's gone. Why? Because you killed him, Rex Ryan. You killed him by bringing in Tim Tebow. Shame on you.
The fire got too big, on you. And he couldn't put it out.
If I'm Fireman Ed, I'm saying, hey, this is my opportunity to be a peacekeeper. I'm saying, hey, I'm going out. I'm getting me a McElroy jersey. That's what I'm doing.
He wore a Tebow jersey, and he got too much, shall we say, hecklement from hecklers in the fans to keep this, a little bit PG rated, and that's why he quit. So he's a Tebow guy. He is saying that Tebow should be, and you know what Tebow can do as a starter. All he does is win, win, win. If you watch that ESPN First Take video, put him in, and you'll win, win, win into the playoffs.
Well, here's one thing that we both agree on is Mark Sanchez, not the greatest quarterback in the world, overrated. This is something that I didn't realize heading into the season is just what a mediocre quarterback he is. Listen to, and not just mediocre, Adam. We were talking just downright atrocious. Since 2009, his rookie season, this quarterback, Mark Sanchez, last in the league in 4 of the most important quarterback statistics. Last in passing yardage, last in passing touchdowns, last in completion percentage. Get this, 55.2%. And a 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. If you're not good at math, let me break this down to you. For every touchdown he throws an interception. That ain't good.
And like I've been saying all along, I'm not. I mean, don't forget, he led him to 2 AFC Championship games his first 2 years in the league. That's not easy to do as a rookie, or come back and do it again the next year. I'm not anti-Sanchez. I'm just pro Tebow. Give Tebow a chance. Look what he did with the Broncos. The guy inspires the whole team. The guy is just a winner. The guy is a competitive force of nature, as I've heard him called in the media. Just give the man a chance.
Well, you know what? You know who needs to be given a chance in WWE? Tim Tebow. Because he clearly doesn't have a future with the New York Jets. So maybe as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble, who's gonna
Dude, that would be epic.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Who's gonna really give Tim Tebow an opportunity to start at quarterback next season? He's definitely not gonna be in New York.
I just don't see Tebow in the WWE.
I think he could bring a wholesome image.
We don't already have that with the G-rated superstar?
I think that Tim Tebow could bring back Right to Censor. That's what I think could happen. Huh?
Right. You got to explain Right to Censor.
Right to Censor was a group kind of at the end of the Attitude Era. It had Val Venus. It had, I believe, Ivory was in it. And it was a group of really straight, hard-edged superstars, some of the more risque, provocative ones from the Attitude Era, that then came in at the end, Right to Censor, started to clean up WWE.
I got you. That's when they got the F out of there with the WWE thing.
Exactly.
I got you. Okay.
So, but wouldn't it be fun then? Let's turn the table here. Let's think about some other names, Tebow aside, that we might like to see back in WWE. Some names that we haven't seen in a little bit.
Well, because there's a rumor they're bringing a bunch of these guys back. So I've compiled a wish list, and some of these guys are a little unrealistic.
Right.
And you've compiled a wish list as well. But here's what I say. Nobody ever thought Lesnar would come back, and he came back. So my wish list is not unrealistic. It is not unrealistic.
It is not, but it took a lot to get Lesnar back. It took like an almost fatal injury to get Lesnar back in.
Hey, you know what? You never know what can happen.
All right, who's on your list? Who's your 1 seed?
I'm gonna start at the bottom. Number 5 is my favorite wrestler pre-Bill Goldberg, the Ultimate Warrior. And actually, I would love to see this because the relationship between WWE and Ultimate Warrior is just gone. It's so far gone. The video that WWE released is just bashing him. The Warrior got on basically YouTube and just bashed Hogan. I mean, the relationship is so far gone. Yes, and his promos were terrible, but I loved watching him running around the ring and his power and his colorfulness and his just ridiculousity, if that's a word. I would love to see him back.
What's he going to do at his advanced age?
I don't know. I mean, he could do a lot. He's the Ultimate Warrior.
Number 4.
He'd come out and beat the crap out of Ryback. How about
Number 4.
Actually, this one's going to be a little bit out there, but the guy's been a tag team guy his whole life. He goes to TNA, breaks off into singles, and has become one of the top TNA guys and a guy I love watching. Bubba, now Bully Ray. I think he's very good at what he does. I actually liked him better as Bully. And when he was the heel as Bully, he's trying to make a kind of a babyface turn right now. But if he went back to the WWE as Bully Ray, bullying everyone around, I'm curious to see how that would turn out.
I could see that. He would need to bring some of that hard-nosed persona.
That's what I'm saying.
Bring the tables with him.
Because he does it in TNA. I want to see how that would work out in the WWE because I actually love Austin Aries and Bully Ray are my 2 favorite to watch right now.
And WWE, they're so big on social media. And as we were discussing not that long ago on the show, his live tweets, epic.
That would be great.
Who else do you have?
This one's kind of he'd be number 1 on everyone else's list, but it's too obvious. So I knocked him down to 3. Stone Cold. Anytime Stone Cold or The Rock comes back, but it was Stone Cold, obviously.
Number 2, because we're running out of time. Let's streamline this.
All right. Let's roll. These last 2 are 1 and 2 because they're kind of unrealistic. They're kind of out there, much like Lesnar was, and he came back. Batista, Mr. MMA now. Mr. 1-0 in his fighting career, the former bodybuilder who says he wants nothing to do with WWE or pro wrestling ever again. I would love to see him back in the ring. I loved watching him.
But, we'll see how dry his bank account runs, and then he'll make a decision.
I love guys with raw power. That's why I love The Warrior. That's why I love Goldberg. And that's why I love Batista.
And Goldberg is your 1 seed?
I just gave away my number 1 seed. My favorite wrestler of all time. Not on the best of terms with WWE, but I'm just saying it would be awesome to see Goldberg come back and take on a Stone Cold or someone of that nature.
That would be pretty cool. I would be on board with that.
That would be awesome.
You think that wouldn't get some WrestleMania buys? I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
It would be huge.
Actually, I want to see him take on Ryback. But,
it would be Epico and Primo.
Would you rather see Goldberg versus Ryback or Goldberg versus Stone Cold?
Today?
Yeah, right now. This WrestleMania. If he came back like next Monday night on Raw.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. I don't think Ryback's ready for that jelly.
I'm just saying because you hear the Goldberg chants because of this whole thing that's kind of been, blown up on Ryback's part anyways.
Well,
I'm just curious. I would rather see Goldberg Ryback just because of that whole thing.
The more realistic of the two very unrealistic scenarios show Goldberg versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. IMHO, my friend.
Okay.
IMHO.
Okay.
Now, I too have also compiled a list, but in the
I'm sorry, I didn't leave you
sense
much
of brevity, we're going to go with 3. And these are all realistic names that I think could do a bang-up job. We're going to start low. Shelton Benjamin. This is a guy that was really good in the ladder matches, the Money in the Bank briefcases.
Yeah.
This is not a guy that ever, was going to be a world heavyweight champion, but he would go out there and he would put on entertaining matches, whether he was teamed with Charlie Haas, whether he was doing a singles thing. He was always entertaining.
To me, he was Kofi Kingston before Kofi Kingston.
Good pull.
Remember when he jumped off the top rope and he landed? Well, he didn't land, but Shawn Michaels hit him with the sweet chin music in midair.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Number 2 on my list, MVP Montel Vontavious Porter. Always enjoyed this guy. I loved his entrance. It kind of reminded me of the Redskins entrance on Sunday. You get that big inflatable thing. You get the smoke. You just kind of pop out.
I'm
there
digging your list. I love the entrance.
And then number 1, we spoke with his brother earlier in the week, Matt Hardy. He's kind of a free agent right now. He's out there. He's wrestling, I think, in Ring of Honor. He's not really in TNA. He's kind of a free agent. Matt Hardy, I think if, it's time for him to come on home. Come on back to WWE. Of the 3, that is definitely the biggest name and the guy that has the most potential, the guy that the fans would certainly love to see back in the squared circle.
My favorite would be MVP because I think he could have taken off. He could have been a champ. Like, they gave him a big contract. Just didn't work out, though.
Well, they gave him a lower tiered belt. He was, I believe, the U.S. champion for a little while, but didn't quite work out. But what do you guys think? Tweet us your suggestions. Who would you like to see back in WWE? Tweet us at 4th and Pain. We will respond if you tweet us. But with that, we're out of time, so stick around. We will be right back.